Welcome to the realm of Millenia, entity of any one of the coils, be ye man, woman, child, spirit, creature, demon, native, migrator, or even innovator into these lands. Welcome, for I am your host, this Millenia Man here today, and I'll be world building for you long after you've already begun to acclimate and fit in, so sit back, relax, and enjoy this Tourism Tuesday, because I am about to get into a little bit here. Right? So, one thing I'm not sure, I already went over this in the book. Yes, it is in the book, but I'm not sure I relatively went over it thorough enough. So I'm going to make it into a Tourism Tuesday, just to catch grab anything I might have missed going over already. But yes, here's the discussion. Sit back, relax, enjoy this Tourism Tuesday, because we are now talking about a little biology and anatomy, I guess, but more genetics, rather, because I finally got around to introducing a bit of the fantasy novel-esque beastkin and humanoids and orcs, and I, in the book, just reviewed the chapter wherein I put that there, but I wasn't sure if it was clear enough. So I'm making a video where you can see my face and actually get a verbal description and see if that helps you with it, right? But yes, there are humans, mankind, right, and humanoids. Now, the way I have them in the book, there is the most natural, bare bone, basic humans. They didn't come from monkeys. I'm sorry if that's the theory and ideology you believe. Humans didn't come from monkeys. All right? But it's just, humans are humans. Every creature came from something, but humans just happen to be human. I didn't write it in necessarily that a great lord of Christian or Catholic belief came from above and dropped humans here. It's just humans are humans, and the beasts are the beasts. Right? Humans are humans. Beasts and critters and creatures are beast, critters, and creatures. Be they ferocious, be they ordinary, be they vicious, or beyond, mutated. Humans are humans, and beasts are beasts. Humanoids are things with human features, and generally variations of either beasts or humans that grow to be and develop more like one or the other. Beastkin are beasts who eventually evolve, mutate, or grow and develop and reproduce into having more human-like, humanoid features. And orcs are more so humans that develop into more beast-like or beastkin creatures. Like, we heard the stories about Tarzan raised by the gorillas on an island in the jungle, where he develops into having skills and traits more akin to beast. But what if Tarzan, in his time learning, growing, and developing amongst the beast, grew more features like fur and adjustable appendages like a creature? He is now an orc. If he reproduced, he'd be more on that orcish side. A beast, I don't know, like a wolfkin or a werewolf, that can shapeshift between the two, depending on what is considered his base form. Be it if his normal form is a creature and he shifts into a man, like, he'd be considered a beastkin. Beast and human, beastkin. Man, human and creature, human creature, orc. No matter what creature it is, it's just under that description as an orc. Right? Now, one thing there is the kind of way I have it introduced is there is like this main character. I don't like saying main character. There's one character specifically who's expressing this. We'll call this Scientist 1. Scientist 1 is expressing this and trying to get this over to someone who's never really understood it before. And they explain that beast are beast, human is human, mix them together, you either have beastkin or orcs, and a bunch of variation of orcs and a bunch of variations of beastkin. And he's like, okay, so the person who's asking questions is going to be like, hey, so would goblins be considered beastkin, or would they be considered orcs? They'd probably be considered orcs, right? It's like, yes, and very much no. Like, what do you mean? Where goblins are more of the exception to this rule, because the science behind goblins, from all we know in the real world, from the various numbers of fantasies and fiction, you can have so many variations of goblins, it's insane, right? So, in order to expound on that thought experiment there, I decided goblins are effectively humanoids. They're not really orcs, they're just humanoids who went through so many mutations, you can't do anything with their DNA anymore. They just have so many they're humans who went through so many mutations, you can't do anything with them no more, because their genes are just that packed and loaded. So goblins have the basically reproductive pace and speed of rats and rabbits, and there's nothing else to be done but reproduce for them. There's no developing their genes and biology. That's just them. So now that they on a genetic level already understand and know, there's nothing more to be done with this. You can just reproduce, right? And that is the most bare bone basic understanding of goblins. Because in every fantasy rendition of the goblins, to begin with, goblins only have that one thing, only looking for one thing on their mind already. No need to further complicate that. Make it so that there's kind of a logic and rational reasoning behind that, and we're good as gold. Right? So with that being the already known and accepted understanding of the biological norm for goblins, well, you might ask, if you know a little more about goblins, what about the hobgoblins? What about the shamans? What about the half-goblins? What about the this and that? Okay, cool. I'm glad you asked. You get those when the goblins do things that allow them to evolve. Because during evolution, you kind of build, you're adding to, right? But on a genetic level, you can't mutate the genes anymore. You can only add to it. So goblins that evolve effectively turn into the shamans, turn into those hobgoblins and all those further trolls and such and so on forth. Beyond that, they are still human. They're humanoids, right? But it's just all the things that they went through during the mutation process turned them into something that just can't be fixed anymore. It's just done. There's nothing else up there. They got so effectively mutated that on a genetic level, it's just like, no. I only have one goal in life, and it's reproduce. Goblin. Goblin, more goblin. We need more goblins. What do we need to get more goblins? We need more reproducers. What do we need for more goblins? We need weapons to protect goblins so we can make more goblins. What do we need? Well, I've seen a few other of these humans get reproducers with money, so we need more money and more weapons, more money and weapons to get more goblins. That's basically it, right? So goblins are a bit of an exception there, because the only way to make a goblin is to genetically modify and mutate any human genes to its maximum, right? And after you genetically mutate and modify regular humans' genes to the maximum, to where it can't take anymore, you not splice, but more you fuse it with something else to enhance it, and that's where you get that evolution to mute, which I can't say mutate, that's where after the fusion of a goblin's genes with more genes turns into that evolution process into the next step that makes it into another creature, right? But yes, so on, so forth. After that addition happens and occurs there, that is how you get the hobgoblins, you get the shamans, you get the trolls, you get the gnolls, whatever you want, right? Goblins. But that all comes from the root conceptualized idea that humans are human, beasts are beast. If you fuse them in any capacity, you either get an orc or a beast kid. And on a more sensual level, for the layman terms, if a beast gives birth to a halfling human, that offspring would be considered a beastkin, because it is a beast with human genetic traits being added on and developing past that. Versus if, say, I don't know, are those smut werewolf alphas get with a human female, that is going to develop into a human orc being, because that's now a human being inseminated with beast genetics, giving a human more bestial qualities. It's an orc. And if we just go down that chain and path enough times, where enough beasts effectively take hold of the same lineage of orcs, where beasts are reproducing with orcs till the orcs' genetics are just so boggled up with extra, they become goblins, right? And Goblin says, it's time to goblin. So, from there on, it's goblins all around. But it's such a drastically, atrociously disgusting concept, per se. So, that is why it's absolutely unacceptable to ever be in the presence of a goblin. Once you see a goblin, oh my dear gosh, that is such a no. How many generations and have gone to past to produce the first goblin that made the concern, right? Because in order for the human genetics to develop to the path of getting to the point of, yes, we're just goblins now, it's like, oh my god. It's oh my god, right? Because there is the additional concept in a lot of fantasies where it's like humans and humanoids are just like the prototype best version of all the creatures out there that exist. Humans can pretty much integrate aspects and skills and abilities of a lot of different creatures because we're the primary. All of you developed things after we did. We are the best because we can integrate all of your awesomeness. And you all eventually developed into humanoid creatures for a reason. Haha, humanoids are better. Humanoids are better than your regular creatures, thus humans are better than all of you creatures. So, to the mindset of the humans in the realm of Millenia, they're thinking, the humans in the realm of Millenia are like, oh God, no. The human genetics are effectively devolving into more bestial aesthetics. And in order to get down to the level of a goblin, most of the freedoms being afforded to the human genetics are thus being removed to turn them into goblins. There's no more genetic freedoms to be done here to allow splicing to really occur. It's just so genetically weighed down, if you will, that you can't do anything more to it. And that's gross. That's weird. It's so not okay. It's not okay. It's weird. It's evil. Evil. So, and then from the beast perspective, oh my God, how many disgusting creatures of my race decided it would be okay to procreate with you terrible human beings to the point where you couldn't even get the humans to change no more. That's disgusting. That's disgusting. So, yeah, that is eventually pretty much it. The concept there. If I talk more, I'd probably just be rambling. Plus, it is still night. So, probably best if I do the wrap up. If you like anything I had to say or agree with anything I had to talk about, go ahead, click the like button. Down in that comment section down below, put any questions, comment, concerns, or just stuff in general you'd like to hear me talk about down in that comment section down below. Go ahead, take the time, share the video if you feel like the discussion could afford a bit more conversation about it. And by all means, if you will, subscribe if you feel like it, and dislike the video if you don't. But hey, that's just me, your Millennium Mailman here, and that's all the info I had to gather for you. And I'll still be world building as the gears turn that way. Peace.